I don't know why the music's still playing. There we go. Hello there. Sorry about that. I don't know why the music was still playing.
Is that your sorted then, mate? Aye.
Hello there. Good evening, guys. Welcome. I don't know why we had an echo there. Welcome to the podcast live with me, your host, Owen James. And I am joined there again by the man himself. Even though I refer to him as a legend, he refers to himself as a legend. It's Curry. Curry, how you doing, buddy?
I'm not bad, mate. I'm not bad. Considering the weekend, I'm actually a lot more positive than I thought it would be. But aye, this should be good. This should be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Loads to talk about. We're going to talk, obviously, about Saturday's final, where there was lots of talking points. We'll have a little look back across the season and then obviously a little look forward to what's upcoming. A few people in the live chat already. Caleb says evening troops. Scott says, lads, you're live, lads. Yeah, I don't know what the echo was, Scott. There was a random echo on this. It was just repeating. I don't know what it was.
He had his legs opened. That's what it was.
Bring back the British, says we are the people. Well, Curry, Saturday. So much to talk about from Saturday. So much to just discuss generally. Overall, though, Curry, I thought it was a better performance against them than we've seen in recent Old Firm games, in my opinion.
It's been the best performance this season by far. As I said to you just shortly before we came on, I'm probably going to get pelters on this because of my take on it. What I'll do is I'll start off with the starting 11. I think the majority of Rangers supporters were pretty pleased that a certain John Lundstrom wasn't included. He didn't deserve to be on there. I think the one difference that I had for the starting 11 was Seema on the left instead of Silva. I actually turned out that for me, I thought that was probably Silva's best performance, I think, since he came to us. Does it mean that I want me to get him? No, definitely not. You can't just decide to turn up in big games. He done the same against God, who was it? Was it Benfica?
Benfica, yeah, he played well against Benfica, yeah.
In the first round, the first game, he turned up for that, a really massive game. He done the same. He was all over the park. He put in a shift and a half. Was he brilliant? No, but he certainly got a pass mark. And I'd say that 10 out of the 11 players, and especially the first half, definitely get pass marks because we did the thing that we needed to do. That all the Rangers fans have been saying for the last 3 Old Firm games was get 3 in the midfield and shut them down. And that's exactly what they did in the first half. And in the second half, all but that goal, I'd probably say we were the better side for that. So in a way, I'm raging at the result, but I'm no raging about the actual performance. I've always said, we've spoken about it umpteen times, and I've always said, see, as long as they go out there and give me 100%, it looks as if they're getting 100%, I'll be happy. And every player that started that game, all but one, I think gave 100%. We won't go into I'm not going to class the subs on that because I thought the subs were really, really poor.
Yeah. Agreed. I mean, yeah, I think, in terms of the team itself, it was the strongest possible, with the exception of possibly Seema, was the strongest possible lineup we could name, given obviously all the injuries we've got, but I'm not going to use injuries as an excuse. I thought Seema did really well when he came on. I thought, he is obviously a class act. Whether he stays next season, we'll get onto that. I think that's a discussion topic, but yeah, I agree. I think finally we had legs in the midfield, and that was the big thing we've been calling out for all season. Players who've got legs, who've got speed, who can get in amongst Tatate, McGregor, and O'Reilly. I mean, I've been saying all season, Curry, that this was not a good Celtic team, and had we had ourselves switched on a little bit, the right mentality at times, taken some chances, I think the season could have ended very differently. But yeah, finally, we got in there. I thought Raskin did well. I thought Diamande did well. I thought Cantwell did well when he was on. I thought the performance was a whole lot better in the second half. We were the better team. And I think, other than that shot in the 89th minute that they didn't make Butland work at all. They didn't deserve to win that game. But But unfortunately, they did win the game, and you don't get anything for a good performance. It's who puts the ball in the back of the net on a more regular basis, and unfortunately, they've done it again. Corey, do you think with the midfield, Raskin made a massive difference, didn't he? I thought he actually played very, very well indeed. You know, is him and Diamande a good pairing for the future?
It's just the two, mate. I'm not too sure because we've not seen them play as the two. Obviously, they were playing like it was near enough a flat mid three we had. So I'm not really too sure if them as a pairing. We watched that, I think we did a hell of a lot better. But the thing is, he's up against who did he replace? He replaced him with John Lundstrom. Who's been absolute garbage. So it's quite hard to say whether Raskin's redeemed himself yet. His injuries are a worry. This obviously we'll go through all this when we're talking about the future of Rangers. But having a player that's going to be consistently injured or out for long periods of time because of a injury or not being fit, we can't get through that next season. It just can't happen. And for me, Ridvan is one of the guys that will probably stay, but if we're offered money, we should accept it. That's near enough the full team at the moment. Is that there are players? Obviously, we were talking about before we came on. Are we going to get rid of all the players? No. if we were all going to be honest with ourselves, I think there'd be only two players that we would want to stay in the team just now. But that's not going to happen. We'll need to pick and choose who stays and who goes. But what we need to do is look at the weakest links. And Raskin's no the weakest link, but if we get money for him, obviously we're going to take it.
Yeah, I agree. I think there are players that I think Yilmaz obviously is one. Obviously, with the arrival of Hefte, Hefte, whatever he's called, the Brazilian left back, and obviously the emergence of Robbie Fraser, who I think is a very good player as well. If Gala or Fenerbahce or Besiktas were to come in with a 4, 5, 6, 7 million pound bid for him, I would take the money, given the fact that he does miss an awful lot of games, and he seems to take a lot of time to come back from that as well. If we think back to the injury, this injury that he's just come back from, we were told before the old firm at Ibrox that he was touch and go to play, but then he suddenly was out for another 2-3 weeks. So he does seem to have a real weakness there. But in terms of the game, Curry, I think the talking point and the biggest talking point from that game was the standard of refereeing. And I know that the other side of the city and a lot of independents and neutrals will say, "Oh, same Rangers, sour grapes," and all this. But watching it trying to watch it as a referee, I have actually got a refereeing qualification, not a high level one, but I have got one. I've got to say, Nick Walsh's performance on Saturday was one of the worst performances I have ever seen in my entire life. And I'm not just talking about the goal, Curry. I'm talking about a whole host of decisions he made. They were genuinely dreadful, weren't they?
Anybody watching that game that wasn't from the blue or green persuasion, maybe watched it from some other country, was watching that, they would probably think that the referee had got a bung. As simple as that. But it's something that's been happening over the last few decades now with referees. And it's got to the stage where referees are shit scared to give a decision against them. Especially when it's against us. Now, I can accept a referee making a big call and getting it wrong, right? That's fair enough. Yeah, they're human. They're no robots. They're going to get some things wrong, right? But when you get 4 major decisions and really important decisions wrong, that's going beyond the realms of incompetence, and it needs to be called out. And I know it's like there'll be loads of Rangers fans. There'll be probably a few guys in here as well in the chat. And there's other pods I've listened to. As I said to you, I've tried to keep away from the pods. I've watched a few, but I've tried to no comment on that because I knew that I'm no everybody. I'm no your typical Rangers fan, I suppose, right? Because I'm no scared to say what I feel. in case somebody says, you're talking shite. I don't care. I know I talk shite sometimes, but sometimes I get it right. No often, but I will get it right. But until your club start calling this out and asking questions about certain performances, this is going to continue. That mob did it for years. They actually got to the stage where the referees were going to go on strike because of them. Rogers, the other 2 games ago, called out a referee, and basically we called him a cheat live in telly. Not once, not twice, 3 times. He got a 1-game ban for it. Now, it's about time that our club started doing the exact same thing. Because if we don't, nothing's going to change. Not one thing is going to change. It's going to keep on happening and keep on happening and keep on happening. So, are referees cheats? I don't think they're cheats, but I think they've got biased. And I think that game on Saturday proved there was a huge bias, because away for the goal, which is subjective, and there was something there that was missed. There was a blatant push. There was no way that a linesman or a referee never seen that. It doesn't go to VAR because it wasn't in the box, apparently. When I first seen it, I was like, well, that's a penalty. But I couldn't see it. Never ever. They actually, I don't think they even ever showed it back on the TV again. But apparently it wasn't that. But that doesn't matter. That should have been a yellow card and a foul, right?
Yeah.
That was the first big game. Then the next one was Silva. Gets wiped out the ball, but the same guy scales off the ball. It's maybe be fair to say to the referee, let play go on. That's fine. But that should have been called back. Skills should have had a second yellow for that, and he would have been off. Right? The next one was the goal. Does Raskin push him? Yeah. Is it soft? Yeah. His Taylor, I think it is, get his arms wrapped around Raskin? Yeah. If anything, at the end of the day, it should have been a penalty. That should have been that's what should have happened. If that goal wasn't given, it should have been a penalty to Rangers. And then they're not even the worst ones. The worst one of all was a legitimate challenge for Sterling. On, was it Taylor again? I think. Was it Taylor, mate?
Yeah, I think it might have been Taylor. Yeah, I think.
On Taylor, takes the ball clean, starts to run away, and Walsh actually not only gives a free kick, but yellow cards him. That's just there's no a referee, and I think I've heard a couple of referees on other pods. One is got a sort of a Rangers connection. The other one has no Rangers connection at all. And both of them have said that there's something wrong with the decisions. So if Rangers can't call it out, it's just going to it's going to keep on happening, mate.
I agree, yeah.
People are going to turn around and say, you just get Timmy, you're just raging. I'm not raging. I'm just telling an absolute fact here. If we don't fix this out and get it sorted, it's going to happen time and time again.
I agree. And I think there's a number of things to pick out of this whole decision-making process from that cup final. Was the first one, obviously, that it seems that certain Celtic players are not allowed to be booked or don't get booked, have a free reign to do what they want. Once they are booked, they know that they've then safe for the rest of the game, that they won't get a second yellow card no matter what happens. And I know you can say it's sour grapes, it's bias, whatever, but there's a pattern here. I mean, thinking back to the not the last game at Parkhead, the one before, they should have had at least 3-4 players sent off. I think it was Johnston was booked, and then he commits 3 or 4 foul tackles, which were all yellow card tackles, yet he gets away with every single one. Callum McGregor gets booked. then commits 3 or 4 foul tackles, mouths off in the referee's face. Again, no yellow card. And we're seeing this pattern constantly emerging. And I think, I think you're right. I don't think they're cheats. I don't think they deliberately set out to cheat. I think they genuinely, number one, there is a fear because of the narrative that lot across the city have sown in the media and have sown towards them. I mean, let's face it, is there any surprise that John Beaton found something wrong with that goal? After all, he was the VAR official that was called the cheat by Rodgers for the was it Huang kicking the Hearts player in the head, and Rodgers saying there was nothing wrong with that. I mean, goodness, I don't get it. I don't understand that. And I think one of the biggest testimonies to how bad the standard of Scottish refereeing is, and I think the SFA need to act, I don't think they will for a moment. I think even if Rangers call it out and call it out again, I think the SFA are so rubbish and so not fit for purpose, they will do nothing about it. Is the fact that, you look at the Euro 2024, Scotland have no referees represented at Euro 2024. Instead, they've called an Argentinian referee to referee games at Euro 2024. Scottish refs are not selected to referee major European games. What message is that sending to the SFA about the standard of refereeing in this country and the quality of our referees? And for me, they've missed a massive opportunity. And I think it could, and I don't want to get into conspiracy theories, but when they could have appointed a new head of refereeing, there was a number of candidates from down south of the border who were going to apply for that job, but were obviously turned down for that job. If you brought in somebody from south of the border to come in and take a neutral look at things, overhaul things, I think you could have seen an improvement next season. Under Column, you're going to see absolutely nothing. You're going to see the same old crap that we've seen season in, season out. I mean, Curry, do you worry that even if we do call it out time and time again, the SFA will do nothing?
Doesn't matter if they don't do anything, mate. It's the actual, it's put the seed. That's all they did. They keep on putting the seed in. Plant that wee seed there, and it grows and grows and grows. As we keep on hearing, it's a conspiracy, Mason refs, all that. You've heard all the usual. But the thing is, it's worked, hasn't it? Because that's now 5 goals in total over the last 6 games with them that we've had chopped off. 1 should have been chopped off, fair enough, but there's another 4 there that should have stood. And it's all been decisions that went against Rangers. But this is what I'm saying. There's too many Rangers supporters that be like that, or we won't say anything because we don't want to be like them. Nah, you better call it out. If you're going to stick with the bloody team, call it out. You maybe people turn it, if you say anything at all, right, like this, right, it's like, oh, you need to be adult about this, right? Fair enough, right? We are adults, but I'm not going to just sit back and let somebody freaking walk all over the top of me or my team. Mm-hmm. I'm going to call it out, and that's exactly what needs to happen. And Rangers need to call it out.
I think we do need to.
A broken record, mate. Sorry,
No, you're fine.
We're over the same thing over and over again.
No, you're fine. I mean, Aldo says he's 100% Curry and Brown in total agreement with you. Was it said David Dickinson was called out by them? He's never gave us a decision since. The same is happening with Beaton. Have
you muted me, or is it my side?
My microphone's on. Yeah. There you go. So what happened was that,
their AGM.
Sorry, my microphone is playing up. I do apologize. There we go. Yeah, their AGM, they played the whole card, didn't they? Terrible microphone issues at the moment. So
right, mate. Do you want me to take you just now and you get that sorted out?
Curry talk.
Right, I'll talk away. Right, I'll go into the chat and see what the people in chat said. Right, first of all, hi everybody, how you all doing? I see Aldo's in, Bobby's in, Sharpie's in, Butler's in, William 01's in, Stevie, John Lammy. How you doing, John? Hope you're well, mate. Blue Nose John is always here, of course. And there's my pal Bluebells. Hope you're doing well, guys. I don't know about you guys, what you think. Do you think? I don't know if Owen can put a wee, what do you call it up? A wee poll up.
Yeah.
Do you think this was the best game that we've had? Were you pleased with the effort that the players did? I know that the score was shite, but were you happy with the effort that the team gave?
I'll get a poll up, Curry. Hopefully, my mic's working now. Yeah, I think yeah. I think the situation is, like I said, well, getting back to refs for a minute. I think things that we do need to start, as I was saying, trying to say before my microphone went on the blink. They sowed the seeds at their AGM about Rangers' soft decisions. I think we need to John Bennett, James Bisgrove, the rest of them. They need to start to sow that seed as well. We need to fight fire with fire. And I think back in the day, Graham Souness wouldn't have been afraid of fighting fire with fire. He wouldn't have been able to, he wouldn't have been scared of coming out and saying, things about referees. I think we need to start to get into that now. And, yes, you can argue that it's turning into them, but somebody wrote the other day that it gets them about 10 points a season, Curry.
I don't know if it's 10 points a season, mate, but it certainly helps them. The thing is, it's just not for their club and just not for their manager. Just the same as what I said, we need to call it out. They get it for their fans as well. Any social media, that's all you ever hear. But as soon as you say anything for Rangers, it's not even them it's calling. I mean, it's our own fans that will call you out. They'll be like, "Oh, what you saying that for? You sound like one of them." I don't give a fuck if I sound like one of them, because this is what's happening. You need to say something. But as I said, it's not just the club, not just the fans. It needs to come for the pitch as well. I've seen a couple of the guys in the chat saying this. McGregor was in Walsh's face in every single
he was.
decision. Where was your fucking captain? Where was your captain when these 4 major decisions were made? Where was he?
Agreed. If you go back across time, I mean, you go back to the Souness era, you look at our players and the Butchers, the Sounnesses, the Graham Roberts of this world would all be in refs' faces. They would all be at the referee constantly. And, we need someone like that. Okay, you've got to be careful nowadays. It's obviously a very different world in how you talk to referees now is when you could in the late 80s, early 90s. But if the captain, who is the one who is permitted to go and talk to the ref, is going across there and he's also having a go and he's also having his case, it's got to have an influence. And you're right, Curry, Tav was never, and I get awful criticism, I know, from all the Tav fanboys out there about criticizing Tav. It's like he's, I don't know, some sort of holy deity that can't be touched to some fans. And if you dare to criticize him, you are like the Antichrist. But to me, Curry, it's his lack of leadership on the field, his lack of drive, his lack of just getting in refs' faces, of getting into the players, and it is costing us. If you look back across the top teams across the eras, they've always had captains that are not just leaders on the field in terms of how they play, but also they shout and they get in other players' faces. They motivate other players. They get in refs' faces. I mean, I know he's a Tim and all this, but I mean, Roy Keane, Manchester United captain, how successful were they? And he was constantly on at referees and he was constantly on at his own players. But the standards in that club from the manager and the captain were so high. And the other players were shit scared of letting the captain down and shit scared of the coach. And I think we need an element of that in our club now.
I'm going to give you a name, right? And it's a player that I hated, right? And although he was one of our best ever players, one of our best ever captains that we had, right? It was a guy, I just didn't like him, but it was a personal thing. I think I've said this before. It was Barry Ferguson. I couldn't stand that boy. But I'll tell you what, he was a fantastic captain for Rangers. Because that was the first thing he did. Anything that happened, and even if it was a blatant foul that we had done, he would still be in the referee's face. He'd be at other players, even although he might have not been having a great game, he was still giving it pelters against other players. Tell me, come here, move over there, can move there. It wasn't happening. The start of the game yesterday, I watched it. There was a point where I thought we were falling really deep. And I seen Diamondi, I seen Cantwell, I seen Dassers, who's it? Dessers, I seen Diamondi. I seen them all telling him to push forward, except for one person. The person that should have been doing it was Tavernier. And that's what, it's not just his captain's ability, it's his footballing ability as well. Because this was another game that was absolute shite in. The first minute and a half, Maeda fucking turns him inside out right away from the start. And if it hadn't been for Leon Balogun covering his arse right throughout that game, it would have been bloody worse, because there was at least 6 or 7 times that Maeda done Tavernier. And I've seen a lot of people, like you say, they're the fanboys. I don't think there's that many fanboys left now, because they're all seeing what I seen bloody 3 seasons ago with him.
Yeah.
It's just, over the last 3 months, it's been really bad with Tavernier. He's lost about 2 yards at least. He doesn't press at all. His passing is absolutely shocking. Now, I'll give him some credit for yesterday, because he put in some really brilliant balls for corners. Obviously, they'll be working on it, because Diamondi was doing it for the other side as well.
Yeah.
But he was putting, but that's all he done. That's all he done, because his interplay was bad. He lost the ball umpteen times. I don't think he would try to get by his man once, because he was that shit scared. He made a get the time a yard on him, and he didn't even need that, because me personally, and this won't go down well, I think obviously we'll talk about the goal, but it wasn't just Wright's fault. It just wasn't Davies' fault. It wasn't Butland's fault. But Tavernier was the boy that put I can't remember the guy's name that scored. Made it put him onside. He had 2 yards in front of him, and he doesn't react quick enough. He should have been there to clear that ball away, and he wasn't, because the other boy caught him till he's sleeping again.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Aldo makes a good point in the chat. Curry says, let's be honest here, Curry, Tav is our Paul McStay. He's been in 9 years, 7 managers and 3 trophies, which for Rangers is unacceptable. Obviously, Janet McFarlane says, I said yesterday, Tav was miles off the pace, going to get quicker next year. That's a fact. It is, you don't get, the older you get, you don't get any faster. That's just the
speak
rules.
for yourself.
Like, well, okay. Curry's like Usain Bolt now, is he? Okay, I'm slowing down, mate. I'm slowing down. I did think we were going to get beaten, but I was happy with our performance. Tav needs to go there. He's rotten. So Alistair makes a good point, and I think this is something we kind of both realise and try and point out on a regular basis, that he gets targeted every game. He does.
Yeah,
he
mate.
does that.
It's not even just for that mob. It's every single team that come here. Ross County, Motherwell, St Mirren, Kilmarnock, they all target him, because they all know he's too bloody slow. He can't turn. So it's just, we'll talk about, obviously, later on, we're going to talk about the actual team itself and where we're going to go for next season. So obviously his name will come up.
Absolutely. I mean, there was an interesting point. I mean, a couple of things just to finish off on the game. Obviously, we'll get to the goal shortly, but the other thing was there was quite a few things, but the Cantwell substitution, first of all. There's 2 things about that Cantwell substitution for me, Curry, that made no sense, and one that was just absolutely outrageous. First one is, I don't understand the substitution. Cantwell was actually playing quite well. Why bring Scott Wright on to play in the 10 role? I don't get. Yes, he's a bit faster than Cantwell, but he's still not a 10. Dowell can play 10. So I didn't understand that substitution at all, especially when we were trying to win this game. And the second one, I don't know whether you saw, but did you see the linesman's reaction to the whole when Cantwell was going off, when he got in that pushy shovey thing with Taylor? It appears to me that the linesman goes to take out his red card for Cantwell. I mean, what on earth was that about?
Yeah, I've got no idea. Are linesmen allowed to give cards to players? It's the first I've never ever seen it in my life, so I'm not too sure. But yeah, I did see that, mate. Cantwell coming off was a puzzler, right? Can we go through all the substitutions?
Yeah,
See
let's go through the
oh,
substitutions. Yeah, go for
See
it.
me coming on at half time for Dessers, right? I thought well, that's a brave move, that. But then I remembered the Carter Vickers tackle
Yeah.
on him. And he was down for a couple of minutes on that, so obviously he never recovered. So it was like, right, fair enough. See me on for Dessers. Cantwell, right? I just think this is the thing that worries me about Clement. He's done this before, and I don't know whether he likes Steve Wright on Radio 1, if he likes Scott Wright. But Scott Wright just showed us exactly what Scott Wright is. He's absolute shit. The guys just know he did absolutely nothing the minute he came on. Matondo came on, he made one run, and that was him. He was out the rest of the game. He was blowing at his arse after one run. Ross as well. I don't think he had a very good game at all. I'm not going to say anything against him because Cameron, I think by that time that the whole team had gave up because of the goal. I think the heads went down as soon as they scored. So there's not very much that he could do. I've just got some doubts with Clement and his decisions on, especially Cantwell. Now, I know a lot of people don't like Todd Cantwell. We went through this last time, mate, because he's social media and all that, right? That doesn't bother me, right? Now, I thought he had a good game. I don't think he was brilliant. I don't think he was the worst in the park. I would say he was maybe a 7 out of 10, maybe. Like, no good, no bad. Could have done better, certainly. But to bring on the likes of Scott Wright, that was the minute that I turned and said, we're not getting this. As soon as Scott Wright came on for Cantwell, and then there was a thing at the very end of the game, after the game had finished, and Cantwell was up at the referee, obviously asking what the fuck was going on with some of the decisions they made. And Clement came over and actually hoofed them out the way. And I thought that was that's not right for a manager. That you don't do that to your players, especially in front of the cameras. Everybody's saying, "Oh, you keep everything like that in house." Come on, just done it in front of fucking live cameras. It's just you can't do that. I've already said that I've got my doubts about Clement. Will we get rid of him? No. Do I want him sacked? No, of course not.
Yeah.
I want to see what happens. I want to see what the board do, how they back him. They need to back him, and he needs to bring in players to replace the shite that we've got now. We need to get rid of all the garbage that have been here far too long, and the guys that can't stifle it for more than 2 games. We need to get that all sorted. But obviously, we can go into that next, mate.
I mean, yeah. So we will get to that. Yeah. So that's just the way Clement treats Cantwell is terrible. Let's be honest. I mean, I get the impression, Curry, to be honest with you, that I know you can't tell because we're not in the dressing room. We're not knocking Howie. You know, we don't see training. We don't see the player meetings. We don't see any of that. We can only kind of take the reports that we hear. We can see what happens on the field. We can look at how substitutions are made, the regularity of certain players coming off, certain players staying on. I get the impression, and I think lots of people in the live chat have been alluding to this as well, and something's been alluded to by a number of people, is Clement doesn't like Cantwell. And I think
it certainly looks that way, mate.
And I think Cantwell will, if someone comes in with a bid for him, will be sold this summer.
Yeah, definitely. I think I wouldn't be surprised if Cantwell leaves. Even I think he might be actually requesting to leave now, especially after what happened. I take it was Blue Horizon. How you doing, mate? I hope you're well. How was work today, mate? Hope it was a nice easy shift for you. He said that he was trying to protect his player from getting a red. Right? There's a way of doing it, and shoving them out the way like that. But basically, bodily throwing them out the way is not the way to do it. There's a way of just going over and having a word and just saying, what do you decide? No, just thrown him away to the side. I just think it was the way he did it was wrong. But I don't know, mate. I'm just getting that wee how the spider senses are coming out with Clermont. But I certainly hope he does it. And have I seen enough? No. He's actually got a worse record than Beale now.
Yeah.
So to turn around and say he's a man to do it, the thing is, he's got to be a lot of Beale's players and players for previous managers that have let us down time and again. So can we judge him on that? Well, we should have been 2 points ahead, and we just totally crashed and bottled it. As everybody says, we shot the bed. Now, but he keeps on saying that it's all about mentality. Now, we had the mentality to get ourselves back in that position. Where did that mentality go? Why did it disappear? Obviously, yeah, we've had the injuries, that's fair enough. But the thing is, we still should have had enough to beat the likes of fucking Ross County, Kilmarnock, St Mirren, Motherwell, and put up a challenge against them. And we never done it. The only time we challenged them was the very last game of the season, our cup. And that can always go either way. And I think, as I said earlier on, it was the first time I'd seen this season, especially against them, that I seen a bunch of players actually try and look as if they cared about the club and they wanted to win. And they certainly did their best. And as I said, did the better team win? No. Did the usual happen? Aye, they win. But the thing is, how are you supposed to win a game when you can keep on getting goals chopped against you?
Yeah.
It's not going to happen, is it?
No, I agree. And I think, I mean, call me a conspiracy theorist, Curry, but it's strange, isn't it, that the best performance of the season against Celtic and the mentality looking better happens when there's no John Lundstrom on the pitch, there's no Connor Goldson on the pitch, there's no Borna Barisic on the pitch. It seems slightly spooky that the mentality somehow improves when those players are not okay. If Tav hadn't been on the pitch, and you would have conclusive proof, but it does seem that it's a bit spooky that no Goldson, no Barisic, and no Lundstrom, and we suddenly don't have a bit of a better mentality. We challenge them a lot more. We get into them a bit more. And I saw a good stat today. I can't remember who brought it out. It was on X. I know X is a poisonous place, but this was a decent stat. They're saying that, well, people criticise the defence and say, oh, since Goldson's been out. But to be honest with you, the defence has looked no worse than when Goldson was in. It's looked no better, but it's looked no worse. So I think that pretty much, for me, kind of says it's time for him to move on. Now, Curry, I have a worry. I have a big worry. I am a bit of a pessimist at times. I think it's all the years of the last 12 years or so. Tav and Goldson, Curry, are they still here next season? My worry is they will be.
I listened to a couple of pods, and there's people in chats. And as I said, I was trying to keep off it, and somebody was bamming up Tav left, right, and centre, right, and I lost it. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, pal? Tavernier. If Tavernier is here next season and he's still captain and he's still getting regular game time, we're winning fucking nothing. Absolutely nothing. There's no way we'll win anything if he's still here and getting regular time. And that goes for Goldson as well. I'm praying that there is Saudi money there for him. I'll buy him a new pair of sandals and a camel, and he can go there with my best wishes, right? Tavernier was a good servant to this club 3 years ago. He's never been he scores goals, and everybody says, oh, it's all penalties. The majority of penalties, can he take a free kick? I've said that 17 times. Some of his free kicks are absolutely world class, but there's a reason he's a right back. He's supposed to be defended, and he can't defend. As I said, the game there, he was the only player that I thought he was near enough a man missing. And if it hadn't been for Leon Balogun, our fifth choice central defender, bailing him out and covering his ass, you can guarantee that Maeda would have been clear through 4 or 5 times. As I said, it's not just his footballing ability just now that's fell off a cliff. it's his demeanour. Now, he done a press conference before the game, and I know other Rangers fans, and I think we can all agree. I think we were all shitting ourselves before this game was going to come.
Yeah.
We were like, we're going to get hammered. We had hope, but that was it. It was all based on hope, nothing else. But I don't think there was any Rangers fans out there says, "Oh, we're going to go out there and get a result. We're going to do something." I think we were all like that. I hope we can. I hope we turn up. Hope something happens. And that's the demeanour that Tavernier had, because he was shit. He's shite scared of bloody Maeda, and so he should be, because he ripped him apart in every single game this season. Now, we're talking about a successful season. If we'd won that cup, would it be a successful season? When we started with Beale after the first couple of games, I think we would have probably said, aye, 2 cups would have been.
Yeah.
1 cup wouldn't have been, because I can guarantee you that if we had faced them in the semi or the final, they would have beat us, especially then.
Yeah.
It was Kilmarnock put them out. I think it was Kilmarnock that put them out. So that's the reason we got that cup. So it wasn't a successful season. Even then, even with the double. So I think that major changes, I think we all agree that major changes need to be made. I think there's about 10 players actually moving out between loans and end of contracts. So that'll be possibly 10 right off the bat. Whether certain ones stay or not is another thing we'll discuss later on. But there has to be changes, and the spine of the team has to go. And that was like, say, Borna Barisic is gone, Lundstrom is gone, Tavernier needs to go, and Goldson needs to go. It's not going to be easy getting rid of them, as I said, unless we get some money for Saudi and Gerrard. That's our saving grace, maybe. But if they're still here next season and they're still playing, now this is a big thing. If they're still playing, we're nowhere in earth next season.
I agree.
It doesn't matter who we bring in, because the majority of goals that we lose, you can guarantee that either Goldson or Tavernier has been involved in the build-up to the goals against us. We've got other players or not. I think. In fact, do you want to go into that? What we think about next season, mate? Who's going to stay?
Yeah, let's talk.
I don't even know who we think is going to stay. Is who do you think is worthy of staying?
I mean, I've left this comment up on purpose because obviously it's reported today by Rangers Review and a number of other inside sources that Leon Balogun is going to sign a new 1-year contract with the club.
Right.
I know Leon's getting on. I know he's 36 next season and everything, but I mean, Curry arguably he's probably been one of our best defenders this season. He looks solid. He's a Rangers man through and through. He loves the club, and I think people need to not worry that this is what Rangers see as our future, having Balogun starting next season. Balogun will be a squad player next season. And, you know, the whole trading model thing will be about bringing in kids, bringing a lot of youngsters in, but you do need to maintain a veteran core in there who you can trust to bring these young players through, to teach them the ways of being a Rangers player. And who better than Big Leon? I mean, I'm delighted that Big Leon's staying for another season. He's been class this season. You know, when he's been called upon, and like I said, he's Rangers to the core, Curry.
Dear, right. I'm going to get scales from my arse for this, mate. What Bobby said there is a fair comment. I love Big Leon. I love him because he's a Rangers through and through.
Yeah.
I think we said this before. I don't think he should have ever been sold in the first place. Am I pleased that he's getting another year? Yes and no, mate. Because as I said, we need change.
Yeah.
And we need to go and find better than what we've got. But the alternative is, as people are saying in the chat, Big Leon's been our best central defender this season. There's been a couple of times he's had no so great games, but at least he's a lot more consistent than the rest of them. out of the back four, mate, that I'm looking at, right? I've got Butland, obviously, I want to stay.
Yeah.
But I've got a funny feeling we're going to get money for him. If we get money for him, the Rangers board will take it, and we'll start from there. Who we get in, I don't know. Kelly's supposed to be coming in. Will he be number 2? What's going to happen with young Robbie? I don't know what's going to happen with him. But if we look at the back four, Tavernier needs to be sold if possible.
Yeah.
If possible. Goldson needs to be sold if possible. In fact, the way I'll say it, he needs to be sold and replaced. Goldson needs to be sold and replaced. Davies, could we keep him? Is he good enough to stay? I think just about. He's no one of the ones that I'll be looking to get out the door. If we get money, fair enough. But if he stayed, would I be really upset? No, because I think he's still he's good enough. Big Sooty, if money comes in for him, take it, try and get better out there. But he's another one that's got liabilities. Sometimes he gets caught under a ball far too many times for me. So yeah, he could go. Big Leon, I'd love Big Leon to get another year, but he is at best. You're a bit the same way he should have been this season. The guy you come in to play the last 15, 20 minutes against your dross in the cups and things like that. Games we've already put to bed. Get him on and save the legs of the other defenders. Yilmaz, I'm not too sure with Yilmaz. Yilmaz, really rate him. I think he's a great player. I don't think he had the best game. I thought he didn't push forward very much in the game there. Yeah. But as I said again, he was by far the most incompetent. I think he did well. I think there was only a couple of times he messed up defending, but nothing came of it. But his injuries worry me. Not even so much. It's his consistency, mate, and how long he's out in these injuries. Because every time he seems to get an injury, he's only going to be out for 2 or 3 weeks, and he ends up out for 2 months or more, and that worries me. So if money came in, I would say, I would take the money for him and see if we can get him replaced. Now, we've got, supposedly, they've got Hefty coming in.
Yeah.
I am not this season. I refuse to get all excited about a player. I done it last season with far too many players, and they turned out to be fucking duds. So I'm not doing it this year. So could he do the job? I don't know if he's that type of player. How he plays. So I'll wait. He'll need to prove it on the pitch to me now. Is he a replacement for Yilmaz? I don't know, but it's a positive. It's somewhere where we need somebody, because we definitely need somebody else to replace when Barisic left. So we obviously need a second guy in there. So Bluebells, is he actually been named in there? He hasn't been named. That's
what Bluebells is saying.
If he's getting left at the Turkish side, it's a bit worrying, because normally he's a mainstay in that. But I think it's all down to his injury record. He's just not been consistent enough. But on the defence, mate, that's how I feel about our whole defence. What about you?
Yeah, the defence needs a major rebuild, and the best teams, title-winning teams are built from the back. And you go back across the great Rangers teams of the past, and they were built from the back with the outstanding goalkeeper, with an outstanding back four that just did not concede goals. And that's what we need to do. I mean, this was what I put together yesterday. So the out-of-contract players are Barisic, Lundstrom, McLaughlin, who I'd even forgotten was at the club, Roof, Jack, and Silva, and Seamer. I shouldn't have put Silva on there because I was only looking at the players we actually own. And I've stuck Balogun off that because he signed a new deal. Sell, I've got Tav, Goldson, Wright, Dessers, Matondo, Dowell, Lawrence, Hadji, and Lammers. Of those out-of-contract players, Curry, is there, apart from Balogun, is there any, not including Seaman, not including Cortez, not including Silva, is there any of those players that we actually own that you would keep, you would offer a new deal to?
Contracts, no chance. Absolutely no chance. I don't. See, one of the things that upset me a wee bit, mate, is the Jack thing. Now, as far as I was aware, Jack was still no fully fit. and we heard from Clark the other week there that he'd been fit for 2 weeks. Why has he not been even in the squad? I think he played on an under-18s in the youth side.
Yeah, he did.
He played that game, and he was on the bench, but he never got any time. So I don't know what's going up. Have I just seen Stuart Allison? What's that? Are we going to just?
Stuart says here. He says, "Are we going to address the injury issues? Why are we getting so many injuries? Seeing people like Jack being injured during a warm up."
Yeah.
And Bluebell says Jack is staying. I keep telling you.
Nah, Jack needs to go. He had a choice, either his Rangers career or his Scotland career. He's obviously chosen his Scotland career, so he can go for me. As much as he's another guy that I really, really love for what he's done for Rangers, but after the season he's had, the injuries, it's time for him to go. As you said, the rest, mate, Tavernier, Golson, Wright, 100%. I'll drive him. Dessers is possibly a squad third choice. We need to bring in a proper striker. Now, everybody said we've still got Danilo to come back. Danilo's not proved anything yet. We don't know who we're going to get. Now, as far as I can remember, you can correct me if I'm wrong, that Danilo was supposed to be our number one striker, and Dessers was our number two, right? With Riff is our number three, right? The Dessers has basically been our number one for the majority of the season. And does the guy try? Aye. Has he got the right attitude? Definitely. The guy tries his heart out. He's no good enough. It's as simple as that. He should get really good numbers. He's been one of the best strikers, numbers-wise, that we've had. But the eyes don't lie. Every time that you play a game, if you're only scoring one goal and you have about at least 7 or 8 chances and you're only scoring one of them, I'm sorry, you can't. That can't be done. We had the same problem with fucking Morelos, and I used to crack up at Morelos. The amount of times he used to get 1-on-1 and balls it up every time. And I loved Morelos, and I think he was one of the best guys we had for holding up play, but his shooting capabilities, every now and again he would score a wildy, but the thing when it wasn't good enough, and that's why we ended up getting rid of him, because he just wasn't clinical enough, and we brought in a guy that's the exact same. Lammers, I think, will go. I think there's 2 or 3 sides now looking at him for that league. So we'll get our money back. Plus for him, Hadji, I would love Hadji to come back and give it a big, get it right up you to a lot of Rangers fans. But I don't know, because before he got injured, I don't think he was playing brilliant. He's probably one of our most technical players that we've ever heard at Rangers. It's just a pity he never played with better players with about him, because they were 10 minutes behind him. He's just got no pace, and his time abroad's not been good. So I don't know. Would I be happy to see him back? Aye, but I'd rather see him getting sold and getting money for him and getting that position strengthened. We basically need strengthened all over the park. Midfield, Diamonde, I think he's got a future at Rangers.
So he's a class player.
The Sterling's definitely got a future at Rangers. I think Wee Ross has got a future at Rangers. He needs to, I think we spoke about it before, I think he needs to be built up a wee bit more. He needs to get a bit more upper strength for him, I think. He's still a youngish boy. He's got time for that. Cortez showed me enough in 4 games that he's a player. If he comes back for his injury, I don't know whether we'll be doing another loan for him or what's going to be happening. But I think he possibly could have a future at Rangers. Dessers has not got a future at Rangers unless he's kept on until he's sold. Danilo's the same. I don't think he's got a future at Rangers either. I think he'll be another one that's going to be put out for money if it's available. It's just everywhere needs strengthening, mate.
Mhm.
We need a proper right back. Cantwell as well. Cantwell has not been good enough overall. He's had some really good games. I like him. I'd love him to stay, but he needs to improve. And he's one bad thing that I don't like about him. He can't show up for every game, and I think he drifts out of games quite a lot. And a lot of people are complaining he takes a lot too many touches. I think he could possibly be right. He slows the play down a wee bit. That's okay against your slower your two banks of five. That's fair enough. But when you're playing in European football and when you're playing against the likes of maybe Hearts, that mob, Hibs, teams like that, you don't get maybe as much time, and he seems to slow it down. But I would love him to stay. I think he's got the right attitude. I love that he was up over there giving the ref pelters. Right, a lot of people don't like that, but that's what I want to see from my Rangers players. I don't just want them to say, all right, ref, sorry, don't book me. I just don't want to hang me. I want to say, no, what you doing? What you get a foul for that for? Because I never touched them. What you on about? I want them to get in the face, the same as McGregor does. Other Celtic players for doing it. There was a time, now, I'm not 100% sure, and this will go back to the referee again, I shouldn't. But if more than 3 players go up to a referee and confront him, the first player to come up to him gets booked.
Yeah.
Now, I know that's something in the English league. I don't know if it's the same in the Scottish league, but that happened 2 or 3 times. Sorry, in that game, the Celtic players were all around about him in his face. The thing is, McGregor was in there, give them pelters, and I hate having to give him credit, but that's what a captain should be doing for any team. The Blue Horizon saying to me, bringing in a couple of players. That Barron, mate, what do you think about him coming in? Do you think
I think he's a good player. He was excellent against them.
Can I change the way that I questioned you with that, mate? Right, I'll change the wording in that.
Yeah.
Does Connor Barron improve the position? Who's in there just now?
No, I don't think he does, because I think my midfield for next season, if we stick 4-2-3-1, Curry, is Sterling and Diamande. I think they would be a pair of beasts in there. I don't think he does it. Then you've got Raskin as well. He would be a good squad player. Don't get me wrong. He'd be a decent squad player as an option, but not a starter. There's the debate around trying to sign young Scottish talent, obviously for the quota for Europe. There's all that, but he wouldn't start for me. I mean, I know he played really well against them in the semi-final, but he wouldn't start for me. For me, and I don't know whether Clement will do this, given his comments about Sterling being a good winger. I want to see Sterling and Diamande in there. I think Sterling is your holding player. He's going to get around. He's going to drop into the back 4 when he needs to. He's good at bringing the ball out from the back, something Lundstram isn't. He quickens the pace. He tackles anything that moves. And then it would allow Diamande to receive the ball further up the pitch where he can influence the game. And part of the issue, I think, where Diamande hasn't been effective this season is when Lundstram's been dropping into the back 4, Dio is having to come all the way back to get the ball. And he's then not as effective because he's got to carry it for longer distances. And obviously that's not as effective. So for me, yes, Barron would be a good squad option, but I don't think he's better than Sterling or he's better than Diamande.
What about Timothy Sterling? Where would you rather have him? Right back next season or midfield?
Midfield.
Yeah, I would rather have it right back.
Would you?
Yep. I'd have him at right back. Although I think he plays brilliant in the midfield, I'd rather he would play in the right back and Tavernier was gone. That's how strong I feel. I think he would do better there. Although we've not ever, has he ever played at right back?
Once.
In fact, he did last season. Didn't it? He played once last season.
This season in the League Cup, the very first League Cup game at Ibrox, Tav was rested for that because Dessers took the penalty in that game and it wasn't Tav.
That's
right. Was it against Morton, was it?
I can't remember, mate. Can't remember, but I think, well, so he'd been there once. So, and I to be perfectly honest with you, I can't even remember how he played. So I can't even say if he was that great. we're just trying. I was going to ask you something, mate. I forgot. You and you go. You talk away now.
Okay, so I mean, I think personally speaking, I think look, I think we go out and buy a new right back. I think there's players out there we can get. I think it is a position of need. I mean, the list that I came up with for this morning's video that I put out was, I think it was nine positions I listed. I don't know if I've still got the graphic. Oh, this was it. This is my graphic from this morning. I think we need get your opinions on this, Curry. I think we need 2 centre forwards, 2 centre backs, a right back, another CDM, another attacking midfielder, a right winger, and a left winger. I think, again, like you said, we need strengthening all over. We really do. And the fact we need 9 players minimum after we brought in, was it 10 last year, just shows what a dreadful job they did last season. I mean, Curry, look at that. If you look at that list, would you agree with that, disagree with that list?
2 centre forwards. I'll be looking for this all depends on who we sell, mate. Centre forwards, we need. I'd say the minimum 1. That's minimum 1. Whether that would be like somebody I know. We're talking about people like Miovski, Shanklin possibly coming in. Would I be happy with that? Yeah. Somebody of that ilk, even if they're for another league, I don't care. But we need somebody that's a lot more clinical than who we've got just now. 2 centre backs, definitely. A right back, I'd possibly say, unless Sterling's going to go to right back, we need 2. Because if he doesn't go to right back, because I don't want to have him anywhere near that position. I don't want him in the team. I want him out this club. He's been here far too long. And I think if he's still, as I keep on saying, if he's here, we're winning nothing. The CDM depends who's staying, mate. I think that everything's going to depend who we're going to sell, mate. That's the thing.
Yeah.
If the more people we sell, the more people that we're going to be able to bring in. It's really, really hard to know what's going to happen this season until we see who's going out. As I think I've said to somebody else I was talking to, it's not so much the people that are going to come in that's going to affect the club. It's the people that are going to go out the club that's going to decide what's happening next season. Because I think even with a basic replacement for the people we've got that are maybe younger, hungrier, that know what it is to win, that want to win, that are not happy just being there to collect their wages and maybe be second best. I want a hungrier team next season. And that means a lot of the guys we've had here for a while, some of them have done an amazing turn. I'll thank a lot of them for giving us 55. I think that was an amazing season. But it was an outlier. And unfortunately, it's the same guys that have kept on letting us down, building up our hopes. We got to a stage where we should have won this league at a canter. And we blew it. And we blew it big time. And it was because of players that were put in that have let us down time and time again. I'm hoping for major changes next season, mate. And it's not just on the pitch either. Things need to change at board level as well, mate. When was the last time you heard from Bennett? 2 years ago. Was the last time you heard from Bennett? When was the last time you heard from him when he came out and made that?
Couple of years back, yeah. I mean, he spoke at the AGMs, but yeah.
2 years ago. And what we were told is there's going to be more dialogue. Now, there's a fan forum thing. Now, it's twice a year or something like that. It's coming out or something like that. The last one, I couldn't even tell you. It was all the same usual shite that they say at the AGM, basically. There was no clarification on what we did wrong this season. There's been no ownership of what happened with Beale and the shit show of signing in players that should have never been signed in the first place. Now, it wasn't just that they weren't good enough, they weren't suited for the club. They had a history of being injured. Why was that not looked at? That should have been the first thing that should be. What's happening in the back room? What's happening with the medical staff? Why is it taking our players so long to recover from injuries? They seem to take a lot longer than any other team.
Well, here's the point, Curry. was it Maida who did his hamstring? 2 weeks later, he's back. McGregor was apparently, Maida was apparently done for the season, but was back within 2 weeks. McGregor was back within the month. I don't like praising them, but whatever their medical staff are doing over there is working. And it does seem that we don't have that same issue. And I agree with you. It's not just on the pitch that this needs to be overhauled. It's the whole club needs to be looked at over this summer, and changes need to happen right from the very top, right down to what is happening on the park on a Saturday, Tuesday, Sunday, Thursday, whenever. Because I don't know about you, Curry, the one thing that worries me about this summer and the rebuild and the players going in and out is the board and the board's ambition to back Niels Koppen, who I think is a very good director of recruitment. He does seem to have a very wide network, and we've seen from the players that have been linked to the club that we're no longer looking just at duds from Serie A, duds from the Championship, who are going to make better and get back to their best or stop them being injured, etc., etc. So it's not, that's good, but the board worries me, Curry. It really does. Do they have the ambition to actually back this manager? And even more so, a bigger question is, do they have the money to back this board without sounding like one of them from across the city? I mean, what's your take on that board?
It pisses me off, mate, right? Because I would love, I think it's same as us all, we'd all love to have the money to be able to put into Rangers, right? Proper money. I know we spend fortunes on merchandise and tickets and season tickets and going to all the do's and the things like that, going to the restaurant, everything that's to do with Rangers. I mean, there's a support out there that spends thousands of pounds. But I'm talking about major Rangers men. Now, I've always said, if I had that money where I didn't need to worry about anything, that I had my businesses elsewhere and all that, I'd want to run Rangers the same way as I run my other businesses. If it wasn't working, I'd be like, right, we need to get this sorted out. What's the problem? They're not doing that here at Rangers. They seem to be right. It's all right. We've got the fans. They'll pay out their pocket because they know they'll always let me get a full. Would you call it a full stadium every second Saturday? They know they'll get their stadiums full every European game. They know that. They've got that money.
Yeah.
They've already got that back in the pocket, right? The coming second best apparently seems to be enough to keep the investors happy. Now, if I was an investor, I'd be fucking raging. Especially if I was an investor and a Rangers man. Because I'd be like, wait a minute, I'm putting all these millions in here and we're winning fucking nothing. Yeah. Come on, get this sorted out. Or it would be, right, listen, what do we need? How much do you need? Right, I've got X amount. I've got 5 million there. Take that. Get success. And pay me in, well, I'll only make 10 million a year in profits. Okay, just pay me back in 5 years. $1 million a year, pay it back. I don't know. Obviously, you can tell I'm not a businessman. Right? But if you're a Rangers man and you're on the board, or you're an investor and you're a Rangers man, surely the fuck you want the best for Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
And over the course of the last 3 seasons, it's just not been good enough. So you need to be prepared to stick your hand in your wallet and turn around and say, listen, sort this fucking shit show out and get us into the winning position again. But also, that's not how the real world works, mate. But that's just, I wish it was the way the real world worked. But it's how I feel as a Rangers man. It's what I would do if I had the money. But it's, I don't know, mate. It's a bit worrying what's happening because it seems to be a recurrent cycle that we're not coming out of. Now, as we said, we can't just ditch the managers just like that. But I think he started to put a target on his back. One of the good things he did, he stopped Goldson from playing. and then said it was an injury. Whether that's true or no, I don't know. But he never played Lonnie. If he had played Lonnie on Saturday, and this is the result that happened, you can guaranteed he was basically going, "Here's my P45."
Yeah.
Because
Rangers fans wouldn't have accepted it.
I don't think there'd be very many Rangers fans that would have accepted that. But I'm hopeful, mate. I'm hopeful that as you say, was it Kloppen?
Kloppen, yeah.
Kloppen. Kloppen. I wish it was Klopp. Kloppen. I hope he manages to bring in some of the players that he's linked with. I hope that we bring in young, exciting, sellable assets to the club that's going to bring success, that are hungry, that know how to win. Is it going to take one window? No. But the one thing we do need to do, we need to get rid of the shite. And if we don't get rid of the shite, get ready for next season, because we're going to win fucking hee-haw.
Agreed. Just to sort of we'll bring it together in a minute. Obviously, it's been going forever now. Niels Koppen, he looks a bit skinnier in that picture, but to me, Curry, he looks like Ange Postecoglou and Nicholas Raskin had a child together. Do you not think?
Put it up again. Put it up again. I don't know how to answer that, mate.
There's one picture of him in Ibrox. I can't find it at the moment. Wish I could. Where he genuinely does look like the love child of Ange Postecoglou and Nicholas Raskin. He looks like he's definitely come from them. It's quite funny, actually. I wish I could find
still very often I'm speechless, mate, but I'm like, okay. I'm like, what?
He does look a little bit like. If you Google it, guys, there's a picture of him actually in Ibrox, and it's when he was appointed, and he does look like the love child of Nicholas Raskin and of Ange Postecoglou, which I think is quite funny.
Before we're talking about rumours he links to Cordoba signing in the next 40 hours.
Cordoba apparently according to a number of sources, Cordoba's coming in booked in for a medical next 24 to 40 hours. Needs to get done soon because apparently the Copa America or whatever the Central American version of the Copa America is happening very soon. Also apparently been reported that Rangers have checked somebody into a 5-star hotel in the Glasgow area. Was it you? Was it?
Yeah, it's me, mate. Aye, that's how I'm actually here just now. I didn't want to tell anybody, so.
Cordoba, I hope it comes off. I think looking at him, he looks a decent prospect. And look, I mean, we'd all love to go and sign central defenders who we've all heard of, who play for top European clubs, but the fact remains we don't have that kind of money anymore. The days of signing the Goffs, the Butchers, the Amorusos, players like that, they're done and dusted. They're gone now. We can't afford that. I mean, a top quality centre back of that sort of standard now cost you 85 million pounds. I mean, let's face it. Harry Maguire cost Manchester United 80 million pounds. I mean, Leicester saw them coming.
See, ever sanctioned that? It needed to be sacked. That was 80 million for Maguire. I wouldn't mind, but I can move faster than him, and I'm not even joking.
RFC 72 says
I'd rather have an ear in my team before Maguire in my team. So it shows you how bloody bad he is.
I know he is. RFC 72 said, did you see that Jay-Z's agency was tweeting stuff about Rangers? Ha ha. There we go. Let's have RFC 72. Let's hope we can get Jay-Z interested, the richest rapper in the world. I think he's got a personal fortune, it's like 15 billion or something ridiculous like that. So yeah, let's get Jay-Z to buy Rangers, Curry.
Yeah, I feel like you can buy your Rangers, but you better not start playing his music. I can't stand all that shit.
You know what, Curry? If he spends £1 billion on players, he can play whatever shit he wants. I tell you.
That's right. Do you want to know something? You're probably bloody right, mate. Aye. That's basically what we really need, mate. Is to get us back into a position again. I think it might take maybe 2 or 3 years before we're back in a position where we can actually start doing what we used to do. If we're serious about it, hopefully we'll do something next season. I certainly put it this way: the least I'll be expecting for next year is for us to be challenging right to the death next season. I'd want the league, but I want us to be challenging, and we need cups as well. Europe, I don't care if we get into Europe and the Champions League and stuff like that. The further we go, the better. Fair enough. I'll be happy with the extra money. But ultimately, the league has to be the number one thing. If we go through this season coming and bring in decent players, I think there's a chance. But it will just take, it's going to take time. But as I said before, and I keep on saying, until we get rid of certain players, we're going to have a lot of trouble, I think.
Yeah.
Especially next season. And I think if they do, it could cost Clement his job. No matter how much we want him to stay, it could cost him his job.
Yeah, agreed. But guys, I think what we've got to do. It's going to be an exciting summer, hopefully coming up for the club. Lots of interesting news, views, and options. Obviously, things coming out of the club with who's going, who's staying. It's going to be a fascinating summer, I think, Curry. I think that's the best way to finish it.
But I think we're at the stage, but it's fingers crossed. We'll put this way, right? They were talking about the Rangers signings, right? Celtic started that game on Sunday, but not one of their new signings.
Yeah.
Not one. The thing is, they've got better coming off the bench, but we've got fucking Scott Wright.
Yeah, I know.
So, hey ho. But as I said, I'm overall pleased with the effort that you showed, mate. I'm not going to take it away. Unfortunate about the result.
Yeah.
I wish we could have got it. I think we definitely deserved it. But I don't think the team were quite as bad as people are saying. A lot of people were turning around and saying, "Oh, it's the same old thing. It's the same record," and that it wasn't, because we played a hell of a lot better than we did in all the other games this season. So I'm happy with that. So hopefully, as I said, I'll always love Rangers. I will always support Rangers. Whether we win, lose, draw, I don't care. I'll always be supporting this team. So hopefully, just a wee reminder to everybody. Sorry I've not been up. I've been a lazy bee, and I've got my new computer set up and all that, but I've not done any of the programs or anything yet, because I just can't be arsed. And especially after these results, I'm like, do you want to know something? I'm not going on, because I'm just going to end up going mental. But I've stayed pretty calm tonight. My language has been not too bad tonight. I've not sworn
quite
as much as I normally do. I don't normally swear a lot more than this, so I don't know.
Yeah. And guys, if you want to find Curry's channel, Stands of Ibrox, Rosie has just dropped the link in the live chat. It is there.
Thank you, Rosie.
YouTube.com at the Stands of Ibrox. It's up on the screen there. It's in the live chat. Please, obviously, if you have not yet subscribed to Curry's channel, go and give it a sub. Also, subscribe to Rosie's channel as well. Not football, some football bits, some other bits, some fascinating stuff on there. Give Rosie a check out as well. Right, guys, that is it for tonight. We've been going about an hour and 20 minutes. Curry, it's been a pleasure as always having you here on the podcast. You are always welcome. I'm hoping to get Lorah on with us sometimes. She is still slacking off working for the NHS. Curry, I do apologise.
As per. By the way, did you tell her that I was tell her that she was slacking?
Yeah. She says she'll have words when she sees you.
Yeah, probably.
Like I said, she's a tough lassie. Is old Lorah. Don't mess with her. Right, guys. Thank you very much for watching. As always, guys, on the way out, two things I always ask of you. Number one is to smash that like. It defeats that algorithm on YouTube. And the second thing, please never forget, always remember, even more important now, that we are the people.